Hello everyone, this is Dr. Catalana. The purpose of this presentation is to provide an overview of our course syllabus for EDCI 595. This is our course on the curriculum and instruction for gifted and talented learners. Many of you are probably taking EDCI 594 or have already taken this course. That course focuses on the characteristics and needs of gifted and talented students, and EDCI 595 investigates the best methods to meet those strengths and those needs in the classroom. So really the whole purpose of EDCI 595 is learning how to teach students who are gifted, not just in a gifted education classroom, but also in a traditional classroom as well. So of course we're in session Summer B, and one thing to highlight first off is that the majority of our course is conducted asynchronously. In your online lingo, that just means that you are not required to be online at a specific time. We will have one synchronous meeting, and I'll give you two options to attend that a little bit later in the semester. What that will look like is you will be required to log online at a certain time so that we can have more of a traditional classroom setting. So at the top, you'll see my instructor information. Of course, here is my email as well as my cell phone number. So one thing I want to stress, particularly in this course because it is a summer course, is the importance of remaining in contact. So I actually prefer to conduct office hours via phone rather than email. The main purpose for that is it's easier to get in touch with you more quickly, in the sense of I can answer the phone and give you a direct answer rather than going back and forth and back and forth. So of course I'm happy to answer your emails, but sometimes if we go back and forth for too long, I'll ask you to give me a call, mainly so that I'm respecting your time and we can both make sure that we're covering what needs to be covered. These are the virtual office hours that I have. What that means is I'll be by my phone during that time. If I don't answer, I'm mostly likely on the phone with another student. And of course, I'd be more than happy to meet with you a different time. Oftentimes I have students email me and say, can we discuss this tomorrow? And we'll set a time from there. Again, here's our course description. Focus on that curricular and instructional approach for gifted learners. So we will do a lot of practice of what does this actually look like in the classroom. One thing I will say is that some of your examples and your activities are going to be outside of what you're used to teaching. So for example, we might have a case study that's focused on high school science. Well, you might not teach high school science, and I realize that. I would not expect you to have any knowledge necessarily that you could go and teach the content perfectly. So the focus here is on how to adapt these various strategies, and actually it's helpful to do so outside of your content area as well as within your content area. Okay, so here's your student learning outcomes. These are very general in terms of the whole class. As a reminder, there is no required textbook to purchase for the course, so everything will be provided on Blackboard. If for some reason you're having trouble accessing some of the resources, it may be an issue with your Winthrop account linking to the library. And if that's happening, it's a quick fix. Just let me know, and I'll help you get that fixed in terms of the DACUS online database. Okay, so moving on, our class policies and procedures. Again, this class is conducted entirely online. One thing to note is that I do conduct the course on a Monday to Sunday schedule. That is in no way saying that you are required to do work on the weekends. Mainly what that is saying is I provide the weekend if you need to catch up for some reason. I realize that several of you are working full-time, and I want to make sure that this is a flexible schedule for you. So our course is separated into different learning modules. Most of these modules last 1 week, and within those modules you'll participate usually in a discussion board and also an application assignment. All of that will be explained within your learning module. One thing that is important to note, every single week will start the same. So I will send a welcome announcement and also post a link to a welcome video. So that video basically allows me to introduce the work for the week, to set the stage for what's coming next, and to kind of do a brief overview of where we've been in the previous content. Please make sure you watch these videos. I try to keep them very short, and it's really helpful for you to make that more face-to-face connection with me, and I can kind of give you some good hints and expectations for the week. Okay. In terms of attendance, just make sure that you are logging into the course frequently. I suggest at least 2 to 3 times a week. And the reason for that is a lot of our work is very collaborative. So I ask you to respond to each other in your discussion board posts. And there is one project that we complete as a group project. So even if you do the majority of your work on Mondays, do make sure that you're also logging in throughout the week to make sure that everything is up to date. Related to that, I do ask that you do not work ahead. In fact, it would be difficult to because I like to release the learning modules throughout the semester. That again is so I can adapt my teaching to your work and make it as best fit as possible. I do want to say up front, guys, this is a very unprecedented time to be taking any kind of course, and I realize that. So I know that we are all human and we are all in the midst of a lot going on right now. So I am more than happy to work with you if something comes up. I just need you to communicate well with me so that I can provide evidence for why an extension was necessary. Okay, a couple other things on course instruction. Be sure to only use your Winthrop email. If you don't, then some of your emails won't reach me, so please make sure you use that account. In terms of late assignments, I will accept late assignments, but for a deduction of 1/4 of the total value. Again, if something's going on, I need to know beforehand. Okay, so let's focus probably on what you're most interested in, and that would be what is required for a course. So I'm going to scroll down to our course requirements. So the course has a total of 140 potential points, and most of the things are fairly evenly weighted, not quite as much as in my other gifted course. So you'll see that we have 3 discussion board posts, and these are case study based, as well as several application assignments. So what that looks like is the case study is a scenario that you'll read and then react to based on the topic for the week. For example, our first case study is about differentiation. So you'll read examples of students who are in a differentiated classroom and analyze the work of their teachers. And then these application assignments are more centered on you considering various ways that you could apply the work to the classroom. Some of these you'll be required to think about application to your own future or current classroom. Others I'll give you kind of a scenario to work within. Toward the end of the semester, we do not have a final exam, but you do have a final project, and that is our differentiation final project. That is an opportunity for you to basically write a lesson plan, instructional activity for your own classroom that uses our theories of differentiation. Again, just to reiterate, there will be one synchronous discussion session, and I'll be sure to announce that as soon as I know. I'm kind of working on a couple things. Okay, in terms of your grading scale, this is how grades are broken down in terms of percentages as well as those point values. One thing to note is that you are required to earn a B- or higher if you're working toward earning that graduate degree. Okay, a few other things. So, assignment submission. I do my best to keep very uniform due dates, mainly because I know there's a lot going on. And in fact, most of my due dates in this class will reflect the due dates in my other gifted course, 594. So just keep that in mind. Please don't wait until the last second to do your work because it will be a lot. But since I try to give you plenty of time, it shouldn't be an overload. So if we are conducting a discussion board, those initial discussion board posts are always due by Friday evenings. Again, you can write them on Mondays or submit them on Mondays too. And then your reactions to these discussion board posts, which means you're responding to your classmates, those are due by the end of the day, Sunday. Okay. Any other assignment or activity is always due on Sunday night, so you have the entire week to work on it. If there's any exceptions in that, then I make sure to make that really clear on your syllabus. Okay, please do not email me your assignments. It will very much mess up the system, so I will appreciate if you just use Blackboard for that. A couple of other things. We do a lot of work with APA style in this class, particularly when you are writing your discussion board posts. At times, it's very important that you are providing citations to back up your response, and I ask that you do that in APA style. If you're not familiar with that, then I provided a couple of resources, and of course, please let me know if you have questions on that. In terms of your assignments, again, we have these discussion board posts, which I've already discussed with you, and then these real-world application assignments. It is important to know, guys, this syllabus is just general. For each assignment that you have, I will provide detailed instructions and, most importantly, a rubric, so you will know exactly what my expectations would be. Okay, so last but not least, here is our tentative. I want to highlight the word tentative because who knows, course calendar. You'll see that this is split up into weeks and then learning module and assignments that are due. I like to bold assignments that are due, like you have to upload it in Blackboard, just to make sure I'm clear. So our first learning module that will start this week is differentiation for gifted learners. And then you'll see you have 2 assignments that are due this week. Your first is an introductory discussion board post and responses, right? So as always, your first post is always due Friday. And then by Sunday, you need to respond to at least 2 of your classmates. Okay, same schedule for our first discussion board post. So your initial post will be due Friday, and your response will be due Sunday. Within the learning module on Blackboard, this will all be clear. This is just a good overview here. And then you can follow our schedule and see the assignments. Some of your learning modules, for example, learning module 1, take 2 weeks, and then others I have condensed to just 1 week, depending upon how deeply I want to go into the material. Okay, so hopefully this quick video helps kind of orient you to the class. Of course, please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Thank you.